What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here with a video that a whole lot of people have been asking me to make. Today, I'm going to tell you how you can get into racing enduros and hare scrambles even if you suck. I don't care if you're 15 years old or if you're 55 years old. If you've got an itch to get out there in the woods and start racing, there's no reason that you shouldn't start right now. If you're new here and you're unfamiliar with my channel because you just stumbled across it because of the title, please subscribe. It actually helps me out a lot, and I'll also outline for you real quick why I'm making this video. I've been racing hare scrambles here in Florida for about a year and a half now. I first got interested in dirt bikes in the first place by watching videos here on YouTube of Graham Jarvis and Billy Bolt and all these other people who do absolutely amazing things on the backs of dirt bikes. I started watching the Erzberg Rodeo, Sea to Sky, the 6 Days, and all these other incredible hard enduro events, and I said to myself, man, I would love to do that one day. I absolutely devoured any and every video on hare scrambles and enduro racings from other amateur riders here on YouTube, and it eventually led me to find races that people had uploaded that were taking place in my home state of Florida. At first it was a little bit of a shock. I had no idea that there were that many local races going on all the time, and I'll be honest, I was actually pretty scared to attend once I found out that I actually could. I thought to myself, I'm too inexperienced, I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too slow, I'm either gonna show up and hurt myself or just get laughed off the track by more experienced riders. But eventually I realized that I was just making excuses, and if I really wanted to do this, it was time to put up or shut up. So I went to my first race, and I totally sucked. I crashed more times than I could count, and I finished dead last. But I did finish, and nobody laughed at me. In fact, everybody there welcomed me with open arms and went out of their way to help me. A year and a half later, I've made lifelong friendships in the racing community, and I still suck, but I don't finish last anymore. I've recorded every single race I've ever done from the very first and uploaded them all here to YouTube. I'll have a playlist of all those races in the description if you'd like to look at them. And trust me, I'm not trying to suck my own dick here, but I do get messages all the time from people who thank me and say, hey, watching your videos was the final push that I needed to finally get out there and start racing hare scrambles. But the message I get even more than that is from people who want to race but aren't sure how to get into it. So if you're in that boat, listen up, because this video's for you, and trust me, it's actually way easier to get into racing than you think.
First goal, don't crash in the first turn.
The first step seems pretty obvious, but if you're gonna race, you gotta find a race to attend, so let's start there. This is how you find a local race near you that you can show up and participate in. If you live in Florida, it's pretty easy, and I got you covered right now. Just head over to floridatrailriders.com. You're gonna find all the info you need there to get started in racing, along with an event schedule that'll tell you when every race is happening and where it's happening. Most states in America have some sort of club or organization that organizes all the races in their area, and finding that is usually as easy as typing whatever your state is plus hare scramble into Google, and it'll usually show up. I personally tried this on my own for multiple states and found it quite easy to find local clubs and organizations and event schedules for local races. Another easy way to find races near you is just give your local dealership a call. Any motorcycle dealership that specializes in dirt bikes is most likely going to be involved in the local race scene as well. If you're unsure of which dealership to call, I would recommend calling a KTM dealership because usually they're most heavily involved in racing. Besides joining your local club, you'll most likely have to become a member of the American Motorcycling Association, the AMA, and the AMA website, also a great place to find local races. If it's your very first race, don't be afraid to ask for help. Make that phone call to your local dealership. Send that email to your local club. Trust me, these people want you out there racing, and they will go out of their way to help you and make sure that it happens. You just gotta ask.
I don't care how cool you are, this has got to make you nervous. buddy.
All right, what kind of motorcycle do you need to race? I get asked this all the time. I get asked, what's a good race bike? Well, unfortunately for you guys, I don't have a whole lot of experience in this regard. But from what I've seen at most races, there are two major staples. There are two bikes that really stand out as the bike that most of the people ride. And that's the Yamaha YZ250 and the KTM 300, both two-strokes. I happen to have experience with both these bikes as I ride a KTM 300 and Dylan rides a YZ250. Both bikes are easy to get, parts are cheap and plentiful. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Now, just because these bikes are in the majority of bikes that you see at Hare Scrambles doesn't mean that they're the only bikes out there. I see every kind of bike at the races, from KX100s and Honda CRF 230s to DRZ 400s and XR 650Ls. Hare Scrambles are definitely a run what you brung kind of event. Hell, even if you've got a bike from the 70s or the 80s, most clubs also run a vintage class. So you can show up on just about anything as long as it is a dirt bike, and sometimes even if it isn't, and you're going to be able to race on it.
10 seconds!
Jeez, oh Pete. Ah, no!
Alright, here's another question that I get all the time. What do I need to do to my bike to get it ready to race Hare Scrambles? If you're going to outfit your dirt bike to race Hare Scrambles, usually the only really actual required equipment is an exhaust with a spark arrestor. Now, personally, I wouldn't want to race without a set of full wraparound handguards and a dedicated set of off-road only knobbies. But if you're going to spend money on anything, spend it on suspension. Getting your bike's suspension set up for your weight is by far the most important and most bang for your buck modification you can do to your dirt bike to get it ready to race. There's a million different gizmos and gadgets you can slap on your dirt bike. Hell, I got a lot of them on mine myself. But if I'm being totally honest, the only thing that I'd put in the must-have category is suspension work.
Ah, shit. That was dumb. Oh.
What kind of gear do you need? Helmets, goggles, boots. Spend money on the boots. You can get a Fox V1 dirt helmet for about $100. It's what I run, and trust me, I've tested it plenty of times. I use Habit goggles. They're super nice. They've never let me down. And I wear Gairn SG12 MX boots, and you couldn't pay me to wear anything else. I've heard that Alpine Star and City boots are pretty much on the same level as the Gairn SG12s, but I've never worn either of them, so I can't speak for them. But take it from me. Take it from somebody who has 9 screws and 2 plates holding their foot together. Spend money on boots. As far as the rest of your kit goes, I see people racing in everything from jeans and a t-shirt to bib overalls. An MX jersey and MX pants are pretty cheap though, and they will make your life a whole lot more comfortable out there on the track. Personally, I also wear a cheap Thor chest protector and slip-on soft Liat elbow and knee pads. They've served me well, and they've saved me from injury multiple times. And just a side note, if you happen to wear glasses like I do, I'd also consider the prescription inserts from Sport RX to be essential equipment. I cannot imagine racing without these things. They make my life so much easier.
That's not the way to do it. Come on. Holy shit. This is what sucks you dry.
So what kind of shape do you need to be in order to go participate in a hare scramble? Well, round's a shape, right? This is really a funny one to me because so many people think that you need to have the physique of a Greek god in order to get out there and do a race. It's total horseshit. Trust me, you're not too fat, you're not too old, and you're not too weak to do this. When I entered my very first hare scramble, I weighed 360 pounds. I was 34 years old, and I'd only been maybe riding dirt bikes for about a year and a half before that. You can do this. I've seen guys bigger than I am out there racing and having an awesome time. I've seen guys in their 50s and 60s lining up for their very first race ever. Trust me, you can actually do this. If you already own a functioning dirt bike, literally the only thing stopping you from showing up and racing is you. Because it doesn't matter if you finish last. Hell, it doesn't matter if you don't finish at all. If this is what you want to do, it's time to stop making excuses and just show up to a race. Obviously, I can't speak for everywhere, but here at Florida, the people at the races are absolutely amazing. I was welcomed with open arms. Nobody cared that I sucked. Nobody cared that I was fat. Everyone was just super happy that I was out there participating in the race. And from all the people I talked to all around the world, honestly, this really seems to be the prevalent attitude at most hare scrambles. So what are you waiting for? If you want to race, get off your ass and go do it. Make that phone call to your local dealership, send that email to your local club. Find out what you need to do to get signed up for the very next race that's happening in your area. If you've got a dirt bike and you've got a will to race, there's no reason that you shouldn't be lined up at the start at the very next race that's happening. Probably going through a total panic attack, wondering how you let some fat redneck from Florida talk you into this stupid ass shit. Just trust me, you're gonna have fun. All you guys who are watching who do race, if you want to do me a favor and comment down below and leave a link to either your local club or a link to a website where people can find out more about how to get signed up for racing in your particular state. That way, if you're watching this and you're looking for that information, hey, it might be right down below. And of course, I'll have all the links you need to get signed up if you live in Florida down in the description below. So don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait till everything's perfectly aligned and you're in absolute peak physical condition to go do this. If you wait till everything's perfect, if you wait till everything's right, guess what? You're never gonna do it. If you've never raced before, you'll never be completely ready for your first one. You'll always have an excuse. What you have to do is just show up. Just do the first race and then go from there. So if this video helped you at all, please leave a like on it for me. If you're getting into racing, leave me a comment down below and let me know about it. And if you think this video could help somebody else get into racing, share it with them. Trust me, it helps out the channel a lot and I appreciate you guys. Here's to hoping I'll see y'all in the woods. Till next time, keep it weird.